Every generation needs a revolution, Jimmy. The American dream is just that. Just a dream. War is a continuation of politics, only by other means. Politics is a continuation of economics by other means. This is our bank. This is our war. And this is our plan of attack.
Banks have become an essential threat to our democracy. So consider this justice.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported radio station on the internet. Please help support this station so this battle can continue forward. Revolution Radio! The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Barbara Jean Lindsey is an internationally acclaimed psychic, spiritual healer, author, and founder of the online mystery school, Esoteric University. As the Cosmic Oracle, she is a conduit to the powers that be to answer your questions about your future self, past lives, current career, love. She shines light into the darkness to illuminate what was, what may be, and beyond. The readings and advice given by Barbara Jean Lindsey are for entertainment purposes only, should not take the place of any medical, legal, or financial advice given to you by a qualified professional, and are not a substitute for medical, legal, or financial advice. If you need a doctor, call a doctor. If you need to be expanded, call the Cosmic Oracle. Shines light into the darkness to illuminate what was, what may be, and beyond. The readings and advice given by Barbara Jean Lindsey are for entertainment purposes only, should not take the place of any medical, legal, or financial advice given to qualified professionals, and are not a substitute for medical, legal, or financial advice. If you need a doctor, call a doctor. If you need to be expanded, call the Cosmic Oracle.
Thank you for calling and being here on the show. This is your host, Barbara Jean Lindsey, and you're listening to the Cosmic Oracle Show. We're so glad you tuned in this evening. It's the last show of the year. Can you believe it? A whole year has passed by. It's like, wow, where did that year go? Hey, did you make all your goals? Did you get everything accomplished that you thought you would have, and maybe had some extra things happen that you just didn't count on? So it's how we roll with it. So it's been a wild year. So thanks for taking your time and tuning in to the Cosmic Oracle Show. And today is Friday, December 29th, 2017. And I'm just really excited to be here. I have a dear friend who's coming on. It's going to be girl power tonight. I'd like to introduce you to my dear friend. You will just love her. Her name's Jan Newell. Hey, Jan, do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm really honored to be on Barb's show, and I look forward to being able to share some valuable input to everyone.
Thank you for being here. And we want to thank our listeners for making it a truly remarkable year. This month, also our monthly goal for December of 2017 is $2,575, and we have raised $2,602. I can't remember when that last happened, so I want to thank you in advance for your generosity, for everything that you've done to keep Revolution Radio on the air. And to continue to do that, we keep it really simple with our new website and all these new changes. We're becoming pretty futuristic here in a good way. So all you have to do is go to freedomslips.com. On the left-hand side of the page, you'll see a sign that says funding. And if you hit that funding sign, it'll take you to ways that you can help fund the show. And part of that is to help support all of our efforts all the time and all the money spent to keep this alternative internet talk radio network on the air. And the way you do it, it's really simple. You hit that donate button. It says subscribe. You can subscribe to the Copper Club, which is a monthly support club, or the Silver Club, which is, the Copper Club is $10 a month. The Silver Club is $25 a month. Gold Club is $50 a month, and Platinum Club is $100 a month. So if that's something that you feel like you could monthly support us here on Revolution Radio, we'd really appreciate that. And there's also, you can buy there's heirloom seed packs that you can buy, and there's bling that you can also support us with buying that. And and you can advertise with your own banner too. So that we make it really easy for you. Please take a moment out of your time, check it out, and see how much you can support the station, either $1, $5, $10, $100, whatever you can. We really, really appreciate it. And let's keep Revolution Radio growing and continuing to be on the air and making 2018 truly remarkable. So on the show, how I usually start on the Cosmic Oracle show is I start with a tarot reading, just one card. And today I pulled the card, the Princess of Cups. And Jan, you've seen this deck. I've had this deck for, I don't know, like 10 years, 12 years now. So it's kind of fallen apart, the book. But you and I have done many readings with this deck, Jan Newell.
And the crustier and the more fallen apart, the better it is.
So the card for today is a beautiful card for. I asked with the intention to pull a tarot card for today's show and for a healing for today's show or giving some insight about today's show. And I use the cards for my own self readings for myself. It's kind of like a nice natural biofeedback on how my day is going, especially if I'm having hard times or I'm in some difficult times or my energy's pretty low. I'll just take a few moments and sit down and get in a meditative space and do a reading for myself. But what I've been doing now is pulling a card for the show. And for today, December 29th, 2017, I drew the Princess of Cups card. And this is it's just a beautiful card. And the name of the deck is the Druid Craft Tarot. It's a great one. And so it says the Princess of Cups represents all the tenderness and beauty of a young woman who is sensitive to the world of feelings and of dreams. The chalice the princess holds symbolizes the heart, and she cradles it tenderly and with care. So if you draw on this card, you may be entering a phase in your life when you will have the opportunity to follow your dreams. This card may signify the beginning of a project, or you may hear good news soon. It can also signal the arrival of a new soul into the world, the birth of a baby. The Princess of Cups meditates as she holds the chalice, and this card may indicate that you are drawn to meditation and to an exploration of the inner world. The chalice indicates that it is possible a loving relationship is about to begin, or that you are open to such a relationship in which feelings of tenderness, warmth, and sensitivity are paramount. This card can also indicate a sensitive, loving, and imaginative child or a young person in your life. So today, I was feeling a little bit kind of down. It's not my normal. Janny knows this. I've been kind of not feeling my normal self lately. I've been really low on energy, and I'm usually a pretty positive with a lot of energy kind of a person, a go-getter. And I know winters come on and you kind of get that bear thing going where you kind of get slow and kind of where you want to kind of go into the cave and go to the innermost part of yourself, the stillness part. I understand that, but there was something a little off. And so today I finally sat down, and this is right after I talked to you, Jan, and I sat down outside in the sun, for an hour and meditated for an hour. And where I just kept bringing the focus back to just being one with Source, and opening up to all the love and the support and really opening up and receiving all it is that I needed. And I tell you, I felt so much better. And I looked in the mirror before and I'm thinking, where you can look in the mirror and you can see all sorts of different faces of yourself. The first time I looked in the mirror was like, oh my gosh, you look so old and you're not going anywhere, blah, 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 so negative, So then after I meditated and came back and I looked in the mirror, I go, hey, you're looking pretty good. So, but it's all in a matter of an hour of shifting my consciousness, shifting my state of beingness, shifting and allowing the universe to kind of give and give me some healing because I really needed it. So, and also when you're in time of need, there's nothing better than having a good friend like you today, Janny, who listened to me. You just listened. You didn't, you didn't have no judgment or anything. You just listened. So I want to thank you for being my friend and being there when I needed you today. And I really appreciate that. So and I also talked to Patrick English earlier, our producer, and he helped me today too. So thanks to Patrick. I miss you when you're not on the show, but I understand he is such a busy guy producing, and he has his own show, not for public consumption, on Thursdays, so at noon. So I'm just in more of a thankful, grateful mood in a good way, not in a thankful, grateful like a battered mood. There's a difference, So I'm really happy to be here and be on the show. And I really enjoyed the show that came on before the Cosmic Oracle show was the journey down the rabbit hole with Dwight Lilly. And he was awesome. And his guest was awesome. So I really enjoyed hearing them talk about money and havingness and abundance. And his guest was pretty phenomenal. And it's funny because, Jenny, you and I were talking about that earlier today as well, and a book that you're reading.
Yeah, that book is. I just got it. I just got it, so I haven't read it yet. But it's called "You Are a Badass at Making Money: Master the Mindset of Wealth." And the premise of it is, at least I read a little excerpt of it. And the beginning stages are like you got to meditate and get in touch with Source, and then you can make the magic happen. So it's back to that meditation.
Well, it's better meditation instead of medication. I heard someone say that once. That kind of stuck. That kind of stuck with me. So I thought that what I usually do, the next step of our opening the show, is I also do a crystal for the show. And I've been working with crystals now for a number of years, but there's so much to learn. It would take a lifetime to learn about all of them. But for today's show, our intention is to talk about success and enthusiasm, happiness, and power. So that's kind of what we're going to end the show on today. And that'll be our last show of the year. So I thought it's a good way to kind of help us increase our achievements. Okay. So, and according to the Crystal Vaults, and that's crystalvaults.com, increasing achievements, that accomplishments and achievements give us something to be proud of, whether it's a trophy on a shelf, a diploma on the wall, or a loving family you have helped build. Achievement can be perceived in many fashions. It can also sometimes be hard to obtain. So life is filled with obstacles and battles for us to overcome. And these obstacles may sometimes get in the way of fulfilling our goals or completing new achievements. When it is success and personal achievements you are looking for, crystals can help. And I don't know about you, Jan, but for me at the end of the year, I always look at my list of what I wanted to manifest for that year and what I actually accomplished. And I must say that this year I accomplished everything except for two very important things. And it's my first time in a very long time that it's something that I did not accomplish. And I didn't finish the two books that I was writing. I have them pretty much done, but I haven't gotten them completely finished yet. And so I'm now putting it on my new list for 2018 to have them both edited and completed before the end of the year. But I did not finish it, and that's something unusual for me. So I must have been working on something else, or something was working on me, because I did do a couple things that I didn't know I was going to do either. But I've also learned to kind of let go more and kind of go with the flow of things a little bit too. So there's also the goal, the idea of a goal or a concept, and then there's that reality and how you work or weave it through life itself, through the process of day-to-day living. So I don't know, how are you on that, Jan?
Well, I have a to-do list that's infinite. And so, it is a little frustrating for me. And one of my goals this year is to start better time management. And so that's what I'm focusing on, that so I can accomplish the things that I need to do to be successful. So we'll see, things do get in the way. I mean, unexpected things come up that jump on the top of the list and push the other things back. So sometimes you just got to go with the flow of it and, put those things on your list of accomplishments that weren't initially on your list, because those are unexpected things. Mm-hmm. So
they're kind of like gifts from spirit. In some ways.
I think you can put those things on your list and give yourself a pat on the back for those.
That's true. Well, and sometimes learning how to pat yourself on the back and say you did okay, and letting go of the things that you didn't create, and forgiveness, and then moving on. We can mind trip. I can mind trip really easy, and I try not to. Or if I catch myself, I can pull myself back, and say, don't go there, So
I mean, we can think we're going to do one thing, and then, Spirit says, nah, you're going over here. So it's important to listen up.
It is. And then once you listen to, then once you're over there, this new place, it could be better than you imagined.
That's right.
That's the part that blows me away sometimes. I have to move all of a sudden now again. And I call myself a nomad. Maybe I better watch my words with that, right? Because I have to move again. I'm not sure where I'm going to move. And it was all of a sudden just boom, dropped on our laps, the last week. And so to deal with that, it's all of a sudden. So instead of taking it as a problem and, a victim, I'm kind of challenging. I kind of am liking the challenge of, wow, where am I going to be? And, how am I going to get there? And how's it all going to work? So it'll be interesting to find out. And that's just starting the new year on 2018. So, and so also so what I found with the crystal balls, that some of the crystals that you can use to help you with your success and enthusiasm is golden crystals are considered magical and quite powerful with endeavors of achievements. Dark gold crystals will assist you the most. In darker shades, the golden crystals have a deeper and more pronounced sense of devotion and commitment. They provide us with the power to lead projects, organizations, and efforts to success. Most important, darker shades of gold are the ultimate power crystals. They exude authority, control, leadership, success, and influence. So the crystal vaults recommend the golden aura quartz crystal, and it can help you reach the achievements that you desire. And golden aura quartz has fire energy. And fire energy is the energy of enthusiasm, warmth, brightness, illumination, and activity. And it's yang in nature, and it's the energy of heat, action, emotion, and passion, of ideas, of concepts, and sex. It is alive and potent, but often destructive. But sometimes we need all that heat and that passion and life-giving energy of the fire element. And it's a powerful element that must be used in moderation. So if you're using your golden crystal, it's called a golden aura quartz. They're really beautiful. And it can be found within, there's a golden healer Lemurian seed crystal too. So, and they're just amazing. So if you take a look at them, they're in a transformer form and kind of like a talisman. You can use it to help find a way to transform a part of your life that you want more desirable. So you could wear it as a talisman or a small crystal or in your workspace, that sort of thing. So the golden aura quartz is a seeker transformer crystal, and seeker transformers are talismans used when the desire is to find a way to transform a part of one's life to a more desirable state. So you could check out that one. And the other one is gorgeous. It's a golden healer Lemurian seed crystals. And it's just amazing. And they're supposedly, from what I've read, they're crystals that you can use as meditation crystals, and they can contain extensive amounts of knowledge and understanding of the natural universe. And some consider them to be the repositories of the knowledge of the ancient Lemurians. So I find they're beautiful. It's just a beautiful orange, gorgeous color. So those are two of them that you can try, and I'll leave you with three more. There's Spinel, Spinel. It's a fiery scarlet red color, and it's a crystal of physical energy, vitality, and protection. And then there's Sapphire Opal, which is a traditional healing crystal that's used to strengthen the will to live and enjoy life. And I have had a fire opal, and I have read the superstition that if you can only wear an opal if it is your astrology chart, the same as your sun sign. And so I was given a fire opal, and I cracked it in half. And they say, a friend told me it was because that I'm a Leo, and so that is not my birthstone, but a peridot is my birthstone. And only people who, if their birthstone is opal, should wear opals. I don't know. I don't know what people say, but that's what I was told. And sure enough, it was a beautiful one, and I broke it. But I broke it when I was splitting boards during firewalking. So these are some crystals that you can try. They're really powerful transformer crystals. So if you want to work on some things, I just, I don't want to overdo it either. Like the old days, I was really a go-goer, get her done, achiever, into it, like almost an A personality. And you can achieve things in a much smarter, wiser way too, and maybe that's because I'm getting older, the old crone kind of work wiser, not harder, right? Or longer. So you can achieve your goals this year, whatever you're looking at. And I kind of started it today with talking about the money book with you, Janny, and then hearing about money on Dwight Lilly's show earlier in Studio B. a journey down the rabbit hole. And so this whole show is about achievements and making things that would make you feel like you want to accomplish something. If there is anything that you want to accomplish or fulfill a goal or complete an achievement, that, success and personal power to you. And crystals are a good way to help. And so I like to give you as many tools as I can get to help me in the real world, and that's a tool that I use. And I also use the tarot deck. And so I want to offer that to everyone today. And then I thought we would talk then with Jan. And so we can go two places, Janny, wherever you feel like going. I have a wonderful new friend. I've been talking with her for years, but Mary Rodwell is going to be my guest next week. I'm really thrilled to have her on the show. She's such an amazing, accomplished, successful, all the things we're talking about, author, and she is a former nurse and a midwife and a counselor and a clinical hypnotherapist, a Reiki master. Her previous book, the author of Awakening, How Extraterrestrial Contact Can Transform Your Life. She's a principal of the Australian Close Encounter Resource Network, and she's also very active in the free organization here in the United States, or probably I should say a world-class organization that she's also very, very prominent in. So she will be on our show next Tuesday night. Don't miss it. Bring your questions. And the way you can do that now is the Cosmic Oracle Show has our own Facebook page. So you can go to Facebook.com/Cosmic Oracle Show and leave a message for Mary, and we'll do it that way. And you can ask her any question you would like. But we will mainly be focusing on her new book, The New Human. And there's a section in the book that I was talking about with Jan, and that's why I'm so glad she came on the show tonight, is because it's in her section of her book, The New Human, Awakening to Our Cosmic Heritage, Mary Rodwell, and it's also available on Amazon. There's a section that I just turned to today, and it's the purpose of star languages or light languages. And our guest today is Jan Newell. And I met Janny, oh my gosh, Jan, you think like at least 15 years ago, maybe longer? Is it longer, Jan?
Like however well it was, how long ago it was that you first showed up with Timmy.
Yeah. So like 15 years ago or so, maybe 20 years ago. But
Probably more like 20.
Yeah, more like 20. And I met Jan, and it's the first time I heard her do or speak or transmit would probably be the best word.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you call it, but sometimes I call it channeling, but I guess you could call it that. I'm not sure what you call it. I guess because of lack of other words I have over the years, just say, I channel another being. I channel another aspect of myself, who's the interdimensional self. And so that's kind of a deep thing to say. But for people who are listening to Barbara's show, it's probably not a big deal. But,
well, I know when you first get turned on to these sorts of things, you go, what just happened? And then you have to acclimate that ability to do that. Where did that just come from? So at first,
you put it in English.
Yeah. So
put it in human English.
Yeah. So at first, did you feel like where did that come from, and was that me, or try and fit it in some kind of box?
Yeah, you have to categorize it in order to communicate about what it is. You grapple with, well, what do I call this? And what was it that happened? And, what's the name of it? So you try to figure out a name for it so it can be something that someone can relate to.
Yeah.
But when I started doing it, everybody else doing it. And I think perhaps maybe when I look back, it's kind of like what people say, so-and-so started speaking in tongues.
Mm-hmm. So
You know,
that's about as close as you could come that it's like that, and that you let go and something bigger than yourself comes through.
Weird language comes through, like you hear people, and they were in the church in the Baptist. I think it came from like some of that holy roller kind of stuff where they started speaking in tongues, falling on the ground, rolling around. I don't know, but it was not when this language came out of their mouths, and it wasn't anything from this earth. It was just weird language. But and then I've heard that before too. I heard it once when I was doing a healing circle up on Mount Shasta, and we had a woman in the middle that was channeling these beings from within Mount Shasta. We were calling upon these beings from within Mount Shasta, and they actually did go into her body. Her body kind of went into these convulsions and stuff, and then all of a sudden she started speaking this weird language, and that's what people might call, she started speaking in tongues. And so, I'm like, oh my God, this trip, and the body was taking in the energy of the beings that were coming into her body, and her body went into these kind of like convulsion things, like Treas or whatever. And so that was my first, experience of it. And then when I had an incident happen where I had an encounter. I had a close encounter with extraterrestrials in the desert in Tegratron, and I didn't see them, but we were calling upon the master beings from the planet Venus, and I didn't see them, but I could feel them in the room, and I felt that they were my long lost family, and that I knew them profoundly, and their love is so big and beautiful that I just started bawling my eyes out when they came in the room. And then when we were done with the healing circle, I looked up and nobody else was having that same experience. So I went, oh, what's a little personal for me then, Oh, okay. And we compared notes, and no, nobody else had that same thing. So then, it was like my family had come. And after that, I started doing some toning, and then I was encouraged to continue and to, let anything that came out of my mouth, just let it rip, just let it come out of there. If you feel like, whatever you feel like wants to come out, just let it rip, And so then I started doing that, and all this sound started coming out of my mouth, and so I closed my eyes and then just started letting stuff come out, and the language started happening. And it wasn't like I went into convulsions or anything like this, holy rollers or this woman in speaking tongues. It wasn't like that. The language was weird, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, I don't interpret it. It's not like, oh yeah, and she just said this and that, and then, no, it's not like that. But really, it was more than just the speaking of a language. It's a transmission of a high vibrational frequency. And so the being, her name is Trea, and she comes through me in the form of sound and language, and it's her language. And so she comes through and she'll sing a little bit of a lullaby. It's real pretty. It's real soft and real loving. And then she'll, maybe speak her language is a few things. And then the best part is when she starts this toning, this overtoning, and it's the vibration of the toning changes the molecules. What I feel happens, because over time I started to get these intuitive information about, well, what the heck is it, And these intuitive, this claircognizance started to happen to me, where I just knew what was going on. And what goes on is that she changes the vibrational frequency of people that are around her, and it raises their vibrational frequency, and I think it alters their DNA by doing so. But I do know for sure that it does raise the vibrational frequency, maybe for a little while, maybe, not permanently, but I suppose if someone had it done to them on a regular basis, it would stick. I don't really know if it sticks, but I do know that the sound, just like when they put people who have kidney stones and they put them in the water, and then they do this I guess they do sound or vibration on the kidney stones, and it breaks them up. The vibration of the sound or the tools that you use vibrate the stones and break them up, and then they dissolve. Well, what I feel happens with the sound that Trea makes is that if there's any irregular molecular structure in the body, that it puts the molecular structure back in proper alignment. So, for example, we have our chakras in our bodies, and a lot of times, we need to get our chakras tuned up because they're these cylindrical, they're triangular cones that come out of our energy points. And a lot of times they're not in balance. They're they're supposed to be a nice cone with a circular end, but a lot of times they're spinning backwards, they're spinning kittywampus, and you need to get a healer just to come in there with their hands and spin them right back in proper orbit. Well, so that's what I think that the sound does. If there's some irregular molecular structure that's happening, like there is a lot of it in our bodies, the sound just vibrates that stuff back into the position that it's supposed to be in. And so you have healing happen. And when I first started doing the toning and the channeling, it was very, very, very unusual, and I was a little embarrassed. I only did it around the healing circle that people that I felt safe, that was familiar with it, and that they thought it was great, not that it was strange or that I was faking or something. And but I did finally one day I did decide to bring it out to the public in a fairly safe environment. And for the most part, I did get a good response from the people who were in the room. But there were a couple of them that kind of thought, well, what are you doing? Well, you're a faker, or real skepticism. And it really hurt my feelings. I was like, here I am, being really bold, getting the nerve to show this to the general public, and I get like this kind of attitude about it, and I did take it very personally in the beginning. But as I went on to do it, I realized that what happens is it exhausts my body, and I think to alleviate that problem, it would be that I would have to raise my vibrational frequency closer to hers, or at least higher than my 3D body is right here. And so that's been a challenge for me. When I'm around Barb. Barb, when you're in the room with Barb, she raises the frequency, that's a given. And so when I'm with Barb in the room, I go, okay, she's radiating all of us, and so that means me too. And then, so when I go to bring Trea through, it's not such a drastic difference.
But being a part of it and being in the room when you're channeling Trea, when you're doing your light language and the sounds start to come through, it's like you're not there in some ways, and this whole vibrational being comes through you, and she's like glowing, you kind of glow, and then the energy in the room totally changes. it's like night and day. It's like you get lifted way up, and she talks with you, whatever her light language is, and she kind of goes through all the people there. I see her working with the whole group and then individually as well. And you have memory of it while you're doing it. So you don't totally check out at all. You just kind of, how would you describe where you as a spirit sit while Trea is transmitting her Kriya?
Well, when I first started doing her, I always thought of her as something outside of myself, and for some reason I got to have the gift of bringing her through me, and then somebody said to me after I was doing it, they said, Jan, have you ever considered that very possibly that she is you and you are her? And I went, no, I had never thought of that. And then in time, as I integrated it all in, is that she is me. I'm Jan in the three-dimensional world here, but Trea is also me existing simultaneously, but just in a different dimension. And that's when what really made sense, that was one of those claircognizant things. And so we all have, that's just two aspects of my soul. There's many other aspects of our souls that we're aware of or not aware of. But I know another aspect of my soul is a dolphin and an orca. I'm a human, I'm a Venusian, I'm an orca and a dolphin. And I know those things. And that's about all I got. For at least, the veil is uncovered enough for me to really know that those things are me. And like if we were to know all the aspects of ourselves, we would lose our mind in this human body. So there's a purpose for the veil. I mean, there is a purpose for the veil, and I think the veil is pulled aside just a little at a time, so you can get used to it.
Right.
And a little more is pulled, and a little more is pulled, and it must have just blown Barbara's mind to have her near-death experience and see what was all going on out in the cosmos, and then come back into this little body here and go, whoa, shit, oh, whoa, hey, but God.
So do you think a part of your...
The veil pulled a little bit, man. She was like thrown out into the cosmos and blended in and back, God.
And deal with it.
And then, and deal with it,
right.
God. But she didn't lose her mind. She just became magical, that's all.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you to say that.
Oh, God! She's the most magical person I know. And when I talk about my friend Barb, I say that.
Well, so what if I'm feeling or hearing you're saying is that, are these star origins? Would you say that's a good term to use or not?
Yeah.
Or is that limited?
Yeah. Oh, God, no. I think we're all star origins. And I have the good fortune of going to the Sedona area with Barb in October, and there was an ET or UFO conference there, and I got to meet and hear Mary Rodwell speak, who's going to be on Barb's show next week, and then another wonderful speaker, Sherry Wild, who wrote the book Forgotten Promise. And Mary's book is The New Human, but both those women are at the, what is it? They're at the forefront of the UFO awareness. I don't want to call it a campaign, but they're bringing it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they've written books. They're, solid people. They're not little hippie dippies or woo-woo people or anything like that. Mary was a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Wild's a real estate agent. And they're not goofballs. They're real. It's the real deal, and they're telling the world about it. And one of the things that Sherry says, Sherry Wild had been found out that she'd been abducted all her life, and it turns out to be all good. And so she talks about it, and she's sharing it. And they tried to kill her once. You know, they tried to poison her once, but that didn't work. Ha ha. Mm-hmm. And so she's still with us and sharing. But what she says is, she goes, basically, we're all from somewhere else. We're not all Earthlings. We're not all from the Earth. We're from other places. We're hybrids of what was here on Earth and what was brought here on Earth and what was created here. And humans are a product of that creation, mm-hmm. which means a little of this and a little of that. Like Americans, we're not all from France. We're not all, we have I'm Portuguese, French, German, Irish, English, and all mixed up. And so I think that the human race is just a mixture of all these extraterrestrial beings from elsewhere. And I mean, first of all, you got to believe that there is interdimensional life, and not everybody knows that, mm-hmm. And can't really know it until you've had that experience or you believe what somebody else says. But to really know it, to really, really know it, you have to have had experience.
The experience is the best teacher. There's no denial. You can't.
It.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So hey. But that's what Sherry Wild says. She goes, I'm a hybrid and everybody's a hybrid. And Mary Rodwell she's interviewed about 3,000 people who've been abducted, seen spaceships, that had experiences, and she's printing it up. She's documenting it all. And her own son thought she was nuts. And he loves his mother, but he just was, I understand what you're doing, mother. So he went and he made a professional documentary that you can see on YouTube called My Mother Speaks to Aliens. Mm-hmm. And I think it's an excellent video for anyone to see.
And that's on Amazon as well.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. And also, if you wanted to hear the interview I had Sherry Wild on the show, and you can hear that interview in archives. If you want to become a member of archives at freedomslips.com, it's like $5 a month. You can have access not only to Sherry Wild's interview, but Mary Rodwell's interview coming up, and then also all the other programs as well. So it's Barb's
doing a great thing here with our radio show, because she is bringing out the esoteric, the eclectic, the non-mainstream information. So it's like there's no brainwashing going on here. This is telling it like it is. This is the truth. And I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a kook or anything like that. I'm just telling the truth.
Well, this is your experience, and this is the gift or healing that modality that you work, that you bring from a part of yourself that's extraterrestrial or IA or it comes from all different sources, but star origins more than likely, and you're integrating that part of yourself, so you're not denying it, you're not walking around it, and you're exploring it. And it takes courage to explore new things, especially when you're on the forefront, especially with light language. This last year in 2017 was a big jump for people talking about light language. Before that, you didn't hear about it so much. It was and when you did it, you didn't know anyone who did it. And so now it's starting, if we can just start breaking open and discovering who we are and what we came here for, and then hook up with other people. Since then, you've talked with other light workers and light language speakers, and so part of your purpose of being on the earth is to speak your star language, and we're starting to learn about it. Who knows where it's going to go from here? It might be an ancient language, it might be a future language, but for sure it's a healing language.
Oh, there's no doubt that. I mean, I think that I don't know a whole lot. It's like everybody wants to get all intellectual about it, And, it's like, people say, well, what you saying? I'm like, I don't know, but really the only thing that really matters is love in life, just be happy with that, and really that's what she does, is that she just wants people to love and to give love and receive love and, take hers.
Well,
and that's it.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
I see what she does too is when she's with a group of people, she really lightens the load. She lightens the burdens from the people. She just takes it from them. And I don't know where she transmutes it to, but afterwards people feel so much lighter and so much brighter and open and happier and more joyful. And then they can go back out into the world and start changing it a little bit more if they want to. But the star language and the star languages or the light language, whichever you want to call it, it's a pretty amazing function, and it's helping heal, and it's helping change people, and it's helping people change their frequency, on many multiple levels. And so in Mary's book, she writes, the purpose of star language or light language is if human language and frequencies can alter or reprogram DNA, this can explain why hypnosis, suggestion, and affirmations can be so successful. If it could explain a possible function of the star or light languages articulated by many experiencers, it means we have to ask the questions, are these languages, frequencies having a purpose we have yet to understand? You'd have to say yes to that, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. You don't know.
We don't know, but it feels good so far.
It is.
Yeah, and
it just happens.
And do these star language frequencies have an effect on human DNA? So it's something we need to study. We need to find out. But by people who have had the experience of a light language or a star language healing, they know that they feel a lot better than after they've had the experience than before. So many experiencers believe they are from their star origins and can trigger awareness or awakening in human DNA. And some healers find themselves using star languages for healing and believe the frequencies act on multiple levels. So I feel like with you, what you're saying, Jen, is that you work to align their frequencies, and these sounds and these languages are for souls to recognize not only who they are, why they're here, but possibly their lives on another planet or another star system or another dimension.
Yeah, maybe it's an activation,
Mm-hmm.
Because once we do have awareness of that, another aspect of our soul, then we change, we alter for the better. And, it does lie dormant in a lot of humans. They don't know, maybe it'll just awaken people to their spirituality. For example, maybe they'll stop watching, they'll just stop watching less TV, or they'll start to have more of a spiritual consciousness, or start to have some realizations that there's more to life than what meets the eye, and it's not just the body that's important.
Mm-hmm. And that you get in touch with this part of yourself that may be an alien intelligent, but it may be a part of you that just needs to be supported, or you adapt, or but if anything, it's definitely a journey, and you've been on this journey, and thanks for sharing that with us again this evening. And I love seeing that you're still on it and you're still going to do it, and that it took the courage such a long time ago to explore it. It's a new frontier in some ways. So I know we had on, I forget his first name, but the last name Bertoli. Do you remember? Don't remember his first. Jim Bertoli, I think it is, on the show before, and he also talked about his light language, where just came in, this consciousness just came in and, you know, evolved his soul, where it opened him up. And I see that's what, with your light language, it opened you up, and therefore you're kind of a key to opening others up as well.
Yeah, I tell you. I mean, when it first started happening, I would do it all the time. I was like all about that, and I think when I had that, because I got so open, I had an entity attached to me, and that freaked me out. And that combined with that it draining my energy, I stopped doing it for a while. But I think that it's going to start happening again. Well, it already is. Every time I'm with Barbara, hey, why don't you do it?
Well, I always like you to try it and test the waters, test the speed limit,
Oh, God, I don't know if I can do it upon
Okay. Well, we'll be right back. Maybe we can talk to Andy to do the light language, so stay tuned.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
In breaking news, a visiting Syrian diplomat reported today that their population is evolving rapidly and advancing into a fifth-dimensional consciousness. They are seeking peace with all cosmic cultures, which may mean that the Earth will be asked to join the prestigious Galactic Federation of Light Alliances. Please join Debbie West and Michael Hathaway on Lost Knowledge, Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Studio A, for the latest breaking news on the Star Visitors' peaceful contact and the ongoing project of cleansing the Earth.
Who are you? I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you. Why am I here? You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision, which has led you inexorably here. You haven't answered my question. The Matrix is older than you know, as you are undoubtedly gathering. The anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equation. Choice. The problem is choice.
Right here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Be here Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Private Eye Matrix Revealed with Monique Lasan.
Hello, my name is Mr. Rowe. I am the host of Reality Extraction on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I utilize logic, intellect, and magic to methodically atomize, vivisect, analyze, examine, study, scrutinize, and extract an essence of reality from a fog of illusion and confusion. You can find me on Studio B every Thursday at 1700 hours Pacific Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. No topic taboo, no subject too strange. I strive to take a neutral standpoint during the dissection of the topic at hand. That's Reality Extraction with Mr. Rowe on Revolution Radio.
This is Thomas, a.k.a. a Mad Painter. I'd like you to join me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Canvas. Don't forget to bring an open mind.
Yes, folks, that's right. Bring an open mind to an open canvas. Again, that is Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. UFOs to government corruption. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
Most guys freeze. That's your cerebral cortex looking for an answer it doesn't have.
See? Even your brain knows you're screwed.
The body's filling with adrenaline right now, whether you know it or not. Your heart's beating fast. It's getting a little harder to breathe. The neurobiological system is telling it to run, but your knees are too weak to move.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. We are all telling ourselves a story.
You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. 100% listener-supported radio. Reporting to danger. Unafraid. Right here, where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
Hello, this is Maggie Rose McGrath of The Concord Show.
And co-host Marine Corps Map, coming to you on Monday and Tuesdays in Studio A, noon to 2 Eastern.
And Studio B on Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern, with educational, instructional, information, and situational updates, often with wonderful guests on the current landscape in the U.S. and overseas.
This is a go.
We are with you, side to side, and back to back.
Please join us on Monday through Wednesdays,
as well as other hosts and guests here on Revolution Radio.
We're not gonna take it anymore. That's right, we're not gonna take it anymore. We said we're not gonna take it anymore. That's right, we're not gonna take it anymore.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
This is your host, Barbara Jean Lindsey, and you're listening to the Cosmic Oracle Show. Welcome back. And we have with us this evening a dear friend of mine, and we are going to be spending New Year's Eve together, too. So this is my dear friend, Jan Newell. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, everybody.
And she said that she would go ahead and channel Trea for us, or do a transmission of Trea for us. And I'm really excited about that because I didn't know she was going to do that or not. And so I want to thank her for being here and doing this for us. It's a real treat. Before we get to that, though, I would like to thank everyone for listening to the show this evening and for your generosity in 2017. And I know 2018 is going to be a banner year for Revolution Radio. We're beginning it already in the out of the red and into the black. That's always a good sign. So please give generously each month, and it's really easy to do. You can go to Revolution Radio, that's revolution.radio, or you can go to freedomslips.com, the old school. And for this New Year's, if you'd like to leave a donation, we make it really easy. You'll find the funding tab on the left side. Just push that tab and it shows all these different ways that you can give generously. And there's also swag that you can buy, and there's a seed bank, there's advertising, and my favorite, the archives. So you can have an archive of this show, of future shows, and listen to them at your convenience. So, all right. So welcome back, everyone. And so Jannie Newell. So I wanted to ask you one question. Someone asked me, how did you come up with the name Trea? If she's something that you channel or you transmit, are you a medium, or how do you do this?
Well, when I was first discovered Trea, we were in the Integratron in a healing circle, and we were with Emil Canning, and he, what we did was we were calling upon the master beings from the planet Venus. There's a lot of UFO activity out there by the Integratron. Then there was actually a mother ship that buzzed around us when we were doing this, from what he says. They take on the form of a cloud sometimes, and so there was this big giant cloud thing out there. It looked like a ship that was kind of hovering over the Integratron.
And the Integratron's in Landers, California, just outside of a Joshua Tree.
Yeah, the geodesic dome that's situated on the vortex where crystalline ley lines converge. It's like an acupuncture point on the planet. And so we were calling upon the master beings from the planet Venus. And then when they came into the room, I could feel them, and then I got my connection with them. And so the next day I asked Emil, I go, well, who were they? Because he kind of knows these things. Things happen with him that he just keeps to himself. And he says, well, it's Trea and Philos. And then he walked away. And so eventually I drilled him some more for the information about them, and turns out that Trea was her name, and that's who I bring through.
Yeah, and
I'm not bringing through the Philos male. I don't feel that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say that. Would it be the Philos from like the Mount Shasta connection, or nothing?
It's possible that they're in Mount Shasta, especially since my Kundalini was turned on by the beings from within Mount Shasta one day. That's a whole nother story, but I don't know if you heard the story earlier about this woman who was doing the speaking in tongues that I got to witness for the first time. Well, that day we were in this healing circle, and sometimes we'll call upon, different beings, that interdimensional beings, for healings and assistance or whatever. So that day we were calling upon the master beings from within Mount Shasta. And at this point I did not know about interdimensional existence yet, but I was open-minded. And I thought, the only thing I can do is be open-minded, and there must be something to it that these people are doing it, So, I was fairly new to these healing circle things, but I was just being open-minded. Who am I to say whether it's real or not, So
you were just minding your own business, right?
I was minding my own business, just seeing how it felt for me, And we were calling upon the master beings from within the mountain. And all of a sudden, we were up on the side of the mountain. All of a sudden, the wind comes up, rustles through the trees, and you can just see the energy move through the trees. Then it came around and went right inside into the body of this woman, Gail, who was channeling, and she started speaking in tongues, and her body went into these kriyas. And I'm like, oh my God, by this time my eyes are all open, I'm watching her go through. And then I smelled the roses. And I'm like, oh my God, I can smell roses. There's no roses up here on this dry mountain. And there certainly wasn't any wind coming through. It was really real. And so then the energy died down in her, and Emil goes, okay, let's do it again. So focus, everybody, calling upon the beings from within the Mount Shasta, and then we would om to receive them, and we're just oming. And again, the wind came rustling through the pine trees and came around into Gale, and Gale went into the speaking tongues and going into convulsions. And I smelled the roses again. I'm like, whoa, this is big. And I wasn't closing my eyes, and I wasn't open. I was just looking and feeling and smelling. And then after it was all over, we all circled around the campfire, and Emil turns to me and he goes, "This Eileen and I, or not Eileen, but another lady. We were over on the side giggling and everything, and he goes, do you ladies want to tell us about your experience today?" And we just started laughing at him. And, I just smelled roses, and I think they really did come, and that was real, and blah, blah. And I was like, just ripped from the experience. It's like seeing an extraterrestrial or something, it was like a big, huge revelation.
Mm-hmm. It
was a revelation of that something extraordinary happened. It was, I smelled the roses, and later on found out that some of the high frequency beings had that fragrance of roses.
They do.
So that's what happened. I don't really know who they were, but when I drove back down the mountain, down to Sausalito where I lived, I went to sleep, and I had this energy surge going up from my crotch all the way up out my head. And I could make it go out and in and up and down and up and down. I'm like, whoa, it was like having the chills and controlling them. And so it would just go, rip, and I started practicing and playing with it. And then finally I found out what it was, that my Kundalini had been turned on. Everybody has a Kundalini that lay dormant until it's ignited or turned on by some master beings or from a Shakti pod or some high guru like Yogananda or somebody like that just has the power to do it.
Yeah, spiritual emergence for sure, right?
And so then after that, it was just like a telephone line. I had a clear telephone line for spiritual consciousness and psychic abilities or whatever. I mean, not that I feel like I'm all psychic, but I have some aspects that are. It just opened me up to be able to channel this high being that came through me about, I don't know what time maybe it was, I don't know how much time passed between getting my Kundalini turned on and then meeting Trea at the Integratron. I don't remember. But they do go hand in hand, and it's kind of like first let's get her Kundalini turned on, and then we'll introduce her to her extraterrestrial self, and then she can transmit to the world for raising the vibrational frequencies of other people. And I'm kind of falling a little bit short on that, but
no, you're doing it. You're right where you're perfect. It's perfect.
I had to take a break. I've been taking quite a break from it, but maybe now is the time is right where it's going to be more well received or more accepted than when it first happened.
Of course. And you've been walking a spiritual path for 20 years or more, 25 years. So,
yeah.
So if
that's a long-winded answer to the question
how
I find her, how to get her name.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And so so that's her name, and the more you practice her, the more familiar you are with her, and the more you become less fear. You had to go through the wall of fear first, right? And then let go of that fear.
There was a lot of things that we did, and a lot of experiences that we've had where we had the opportunities to do healings on people, and so, you know, only people who've experienced it can tell you how they've been affected. I have one really wonderful testimonial that one of my friends, not long after I started doing it, I was so excited. First of all, I felt like after I met Trea the first time, I felt like I'd had an encounter of the third kind. And then I had this revelation that, oh my God, there really is life out there in the stars, and then that planet shining right there, the planet Venus. Oh my God, And so I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but I would just remember being really high and really ripped from it, and it took quite a long time for the integration of it. But one of the testimonials that I do have that from someone is one of my friends. She had this ovarian cyst, and it was the size of a grapefruit, and they were going to have to operate on her. And here's a woman who is afraid of a bee. She can't handle a little bee sting or something. She'll flip out having a bee sting, a little cut on her finger, and let alone get have surgery with a big, taking out something the size of a grapefruit out of her body, So when I said, well, Mary, let me do my toning on it and see if maybe that will help you. She goes, yeah, please do it. I'm scheduled to get surgery in a month, and I'm so scared. I said, well, come over to, afterward, come on over. After we're both done working, and I'll just tone on your abdomen and stuff and bring Trea through for you, before you go get surgery. So I did that for a month for her. So she got, at 8 times. And they went and did a sonogram again of the cyst, and it was gone. And so it blew it up. The sound blew it up. Mm-hmm. Just like they blow up the kidney stones. The sound, yeah, dissolved, and it blew up the irregular molecules that were forming in her body, and that was that. But I did find out that several years later it did grow back, and she did have it removed. But the thing is that the reason why it formed was not addressed. Whatever that was, I really do believe that psychological, emotional traumas and stuff that we have in life cause physical illness and ailments. So probably that was just really never addressed for her, and so it just came back. Mm-hmm.
But light healing is a real potential as a new healing modality, a new reality of healing, for us that we can just we're just starting to learn about and to tap into it.
Yeah, and most people won't really give it a grain of salt unless there's solid evidence. And so Mary's trying to find evidence for me right now. It was a while ago, but she will certainly write me up a testimonial, but it would be fabulous to have the before and after of her sonograms to show in a PowerPoint presentation or something. So she's trying to see if she can find something for me. And I just actually saw her over the Christmas holidays. She said, I haven't given up on you. She goes, I couldn't find a digital file in my records, but I'm going to look in my storage for something physical, like a X-ray thing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that must have blown you away a little bit too because you weren't sure either, but you're willing.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was doing. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it could do things. I just knew it was beautiful, and that it was people liked it. That I felt safe doing it around, and I was encouraged to continue. And we all felt pretty high afterwards, and so that was nice.
Yeah. Well,
we were all smiling and glowing away afterwards.
Well, I know that they're having, light language is becoming a part of the, of our new reality in a way. It's becoming just like having psychic abilities. 20 years ago when you talked about it, it was not conventional at all, and now it's become much more mainstream and much more acceptable. So you're just in the front lines of the awakening process.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to do a healing for our listeners this evening?
I will, and if there's anybody that has anything in particular that
I don't see anyone on the chat room who.
Okay.
But let's see. How about if we what I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna let you. What would be something that the first thing that comes? How about for Revolution Radio? Would that be a good one? That you could offer healing or toning for Revolution Radio for 2018 and all the hosts.
Okay.
All the hosts, and that they can stay secure and maybe keep communication clear and I know,
for the success of Revolution Radio, and that it perpetuates and brings out all the truth that they're bringing forward to the world.
I love it, and remove any obstacles, all obstacles of that success.
Yeah, because we don't want, we want the truth out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want edited, brainwashed information. People, we want real truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so however you start it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way I usually start is I'll just start doing an oming, just to get my vocal cords going, and then boom, she pops through. And then we'll just see what happens. Okay. I don't ever know. Not like I can plan it.
Right. And then
so if anybody has any physical challenges or anything, they might want to just put their, like if you have a wounded finger, put your finger up to the microphone or up to the radio or whatever.
Okay, we have a guest on the chat, and this person would like a healing on their back, and their initials are TYVM, or maybe that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So there's just a guess, and this person would like a healing on their back. So
okay, well, what I'm feeling like they should do is the area of their back that they are having challenges with. See if you can put the microphone as close as possible to that area, and then keep it close.
Okay.
So the sound goes right on it.
Okay. And as you're the healer,
possible, but otherwise,
yeah.
I would recommend they get into a small room, like a bathroom, close the door, close the windows, so that the sound ricochets off of the walls.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. And then them as a being a recipient, all they need to do is let go and receive, right? They don't have to.
Yeah, and be open-minded and just be open and receive.
Mm-hmm.
If they're sitting there being all skeptical, they're going to be constricted and closed down and whatever. It's just not the best state of mind.
Okay, so the person is Diana. So now you know who the person is.
Hi, Diana.
Wonderful.
Hi, Diana. I will try to help you.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All righty. So, okay, I'm going to so what happens with me is I'm totally aware of everything, and I just kind of like part of me just steps aside a little bit, and then Trea comes through into my body. And so, okay. Okay, fila fuifenia pia forsuk de pride keshi. Shua crochet. Et quand je sur mon frère, je t'ai déféqué. Je suis là, je suis là, je suis là. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And that's special for Diana. And I think it might be a good idea for you, Diana, to just, if you can get the archive of this, and then just play it frequently, and just, aim the sound towards the area of your back that's affected, and perhaps it will, help you. It will soften it up. It will not be as tight. It will relax. If you relax that area, and you will relax. Not just that part of your body, but your whole self will relax. And in doing that, your back will relax too, and it won't be as tight.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. That's our gift. What a way to in the year. It's with the
This is your last Friday of the year, huh? Barb?
yeah, it's the last show of the year. So thank you so much for that, and hopefully Diana will keep us posted on her healing too. And
Yeah, that's cool, Diana. Let us know how you feel.
oh, she wants to know how to get a hold of you. So
Oh. Okay. Let's see.
do you have an email that she could get a hold of you?
Yeah, I have an email that is a private one, but it's not. It's my personal email, and it's designerpowerpoint@gmail.com. It's just an email I've had for a really long time. I no longer design PowerPoint presentations, but I just kept it because it's simple, it's easy. So it's just designerpowerpoint@gmail.com. And then, I get a lot of spam, I get a lot of junk on that one, but just, let's see what you should say.
Just put Cosmic Oracle on there.
Trea, help, please, Trea, help from Trea. Then I'll go, oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. So for Diana, just go ahead and go to designerpowerpoint@gmail.com and leave Jan a message there, and you two can chat back and forth. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and we can have a conversation. I'm hesitant to leave my phone number on the air.
No. Yeah. So this is a way that
I'm not official with this.
Right.
I would have a different phone number.
Yeah. No, this is perfect because we kind of weren't even scheduled to do this, and so it's just out of the goodness of your heart that you came on to do the healing work tonight. So it's definitely a benefit, and so thank you for doing that. And then once you could tell the ship when it was done, it just dropped. Boom! I could feel it really easy.
Yeah, you were done, and
Yeah.
I used to think, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'll be able to bring her through, but then she always comes through. It's really easy. It blows my mind, really. I don't know how it works, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
I should bring her. I should do her every single day, actually. Instead of meditate, I should just do her.
Well, it's a good idea because, like, with doing any kind of a healing modality, practice makes perfect in some ways. The more you can practice, the more you can be effective.
Well, when I'm physically with people, I'm like I'm bringing this. Diana, you guys can't see me, but I'm sitting on the couch. I got the candles lit and everything, and a lot of times I'll bring the energy from my body in a circular motion towards the area or towards the person or towards the people, and there are maybe it just travels. There is no. Maybe you got it. Maybe you felt it. I don't. It's possible Barb can do psychic readings from a distance, so.
I definitely
healing from a distance.
Yeah, we're amazing beings. I mean, we're just breaking open so many things that we've had this ability to heal ourselves from a very long time ago, and I think it's time to take a lot of these sorts of healing modalities to the next level and a new dimension and get rid of all this dysfunction stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah, I hope.
So.
Yeah, I didn't even have to do any oming or anything.
No, she did. She did. To see you over the 15 years, you've grown a lot. So to see you start to take your levels and really, you have a mastery of it now. That's the big difference.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty used to it. That is for sure. And,
well, and to do it over, because listeners are going to be hearing this, for years to come too, and so, so
Barb and I are going to be at the Contact in the Desert this June 1st through the 4th. And Barbara's going to be doing her Cosmic Cafe, her annual Cosmic Cafe, which is
a venue that she created to give people who have had contacts as abductions and close encounters and all that to a safe environment to speak about it. And a lot of times people don't get to ever told anybody, and so to have an environment where you're safe to share is very healing for them. And then she has me do Trea on them all too. So I have them all gather around. We did it that one year. So picture me like to be in the middle, and then I do Trea, and I like just kind of moves around in a circle, just kind of spin in place, and just kind of spread it to everybody. It's really fun. But I tell you, that one time that we did it there, I remember afterwards there was a couple of people that were like, they didn't know what to think, and they were like, they kind of ran away, like, oh, I gotta get away from her, she's too dangerous. That whole thing was like, I'm not ready for that, but for the most part, it was very well received, and I always feel really protected when I'm around Barbs, that the energy holds down the floor really well. But if anybody wants to go to the Contact in the Desert, come to Barbara's Cosmic Cafe. Come on over and we'll see you.
Yeah, I'd love. That's wonderful. And we're going to be doing some filming there this year too. I'm working that out right now. So I'll be talking about that as we get closer to that. And also, there's Alien Con in my local neck of the woods. That's in coming up June 15th and 17th. 2018 in Pasadena. So that's right in my neighborhood, or was in my neighborhood. So someone asked me to mention that. So that's Alien Con. It looks like a really cool gathering and an experience, and that's at the Pasadena Convention, and that's in Pasadena, California. And like a one-day single pass is only $49. So it makes it real reasonable to go, and that's at thealiencon.com. So that's kind of a cool place. I like to support them in their work as well. And so we did have someone in chat ask for a reading, and so we can't take phone calls. So you'll have to ask the if you want a psychic reading now, we can switch to that. You just ask your question in chat, because I can do a psychic reading. I don't have to have your voice. I can just hook up with you spirit to spirit and give you a reading from a distance. So if you'd like one, the person who asked, the guest who wanted a reading, if you would like one, go ahead and just ask your question in chat, and I will do my best to give you a reading, because that's what I do. And I've been doing it for a long, long time, and I love doing it. So, and it's my giveaway.
He's the real deal. He's phenomenal, and he's the real deal.
So I thought, while we're waiting to see if this person, if they want a psychic reading, if they wanted a psychic reading. So maybe it's getting lost in translation. I'm not sure. But what I usually do on the show when everything's working, I give away free psychic readings, and I've been doing it for 25 years. And it's what I like to do. And so since we aren't taking calls, maybe you could ask your question if you did want a psychic reading in the chat room, and I'll do my best to give you a reading. And so in the meantime, while we're waiting, I did want to kind of segue a little bit, as I know you're unwinding and letting go of Trea, but I think it's different. You were able to just turn it on and turn it off really beautifully, and that takes practice. So you're really taking those steps, So it's good. It's good. So we were talking earlier before the show too about how to connect with your own personal magic, and that's what we like to do too. And a good psychic isn't going to, tell you should you leave your boyfriend or not. But I will put some light in the darkness so give you maybe some ideas that you had not thought about before, that you can look at and then make a decision from that point of neutrality in some ways. So so we were talking about awakening your own healing ability, and working in the fifth dimension is closer than we realize, and by tuning up the frequency of our cellular vibration, that's kind of what Trea was doing in some ways, is tuning up our frequency so that we can access these higher wavelengths. And this is from an article, I forget, it's from your dear friend, Jean, and it's from, let's see, doesn't say where he picked it up at, but it was, I'm not sure where he found it. So
yeah, it doesn't look like it shows the source.
Yeah, but yeah. But whoever wrote this, it's amazing, and it's I think it says posted by MM on November 12th, 2017, and it's 2017 Consciousness Daily Blog, Metaphysics and Beliefs Consciousness. That's my only way I can give this person credit, which I always want to do that. This isn't something that I came up with, but something that I thought was important, and I always like to share with our listeners modalities to help heal yourself. And so what happens when you have your frequency or your vibration wavelength, risen up higher to a higher level? So you do that so that your lighter emotions then can raise the vibrations, because heavier emotions are lower vibrations, So what happens is, if you can get out of the lower vibration, then gratitude comes in more to play. And that's what happened with me today, before meditation and after meditation. I have more gratitude, more compassion, more joy, more humility, more love, more peace, emotions of this light generates higher frequency. So when the opposite occurs with darker emotions, so that would be like envy or greed, fear, arrogance, weighing down. Lack of energy is always a key for me. A lack of energy, or I don't care. How about the I don't cares? That's when I know I'm in a lower frequency. And so ways that we can control it is that we can help set our own wavelength in our own soul system. And so there's ways that you can do this and open up these gates to the fifth dimension. And so it's infinite to what we can become, and the ability to heal ourselves and others as well. So there's 10 gates to opening the fifth dimension. We're going to try and get this done before the end of the show. So one is to breathe, meditate, pray to cultivate inner stillness and soul activation, and build this into your daily routine so it becomes an organic part of your existence. And just pop in anytime, Janny. And so I know it's with me, it's something that I found meditation works for me. But I like meditation solitary. I like to be alone when I meditate. Some people like meditating only with groups, and some people have their meditation when they walk, or they have their meditation when they swim, or when they get a Trea transmission, it uplifts your spirit. And then they also say number 2 is try and keep your diet toxin free, of a high vibration, and be active. And I remember one of the things that Sherry Wilde said at the expo, the Life Awareness Expo, is that to avoid alcohol as much as you can too, because she feels like it brings the vibration very, very low. And she said it wasn't always that way, but her higher ups or her guides have asked her to not have any alcohol in her system anymore. And we were talking, and she said that has really helped her a lot take some next steps in really raising her vibration. Not for everyone, but it is something that made a difference for her. And it makes sense to me. So Number 3 is don't be hard on yourself. Emotions like guilt or shame, anger, or anxiety hold back our awakening and making our energies heavy and dense. So don't beat yourself up. So release, accept, forgive, and make peace with yourself. So that's a good advice to start off the new year with, right? Let go of the old and make peace with yourself. And so your first foot into your spiritual path in 2018 is in peace. Number 4 is find the flow or the groove or your zone in your life. And you'll listen and respond to natural energy levels. Your day-to-day work, you'll kind of be in tune with where your energy is. I'm not a morning person. I'm a night person. I don't know about you, Jenny, but it's finding your own natural flow or rhythm or your zone in life. And then being in nature realigns us. 6 is gratitude. A high emotional wavelength, and it triggers algorithms of compassion, kindness, and mindfulness. And number 7, facing the dark nights of the soul. Be prepared to look into our spiritual mirror, release dark, heavy, sticky karma, and welcome lighter love vibrations into our lives. And this does not all have to be done by 5 o'clock. Okay, that's my insert into that. It can take a lifetime sometimes. Number 8 is mindfulness. Practice being in the present. Whenever you hear that past come up, just tell it to get the heck out of the way. Try and be in present time and detach from anxiety about the past or worries about the future and experience the moment. Number 9, we're almost there. Welcome and nurture your inner child. So friendships, good books. I always like music and dancing. Go out and dance, write, and be with people you don't know and have some fun and feel that creative passion in your life again. Helps keep us present and imaginative, keeps our upper chakras and clear and activated, and clears our root chakra and keeps our chi going. Number 10, set focused intentions. That's what we did with the show today. We had an intention for healing, for having success, and really knowing your potential and achieving that for 2018. And have your mantras each day that you have. I do some daily mantras. Maybe I'll share those with you the second week. That might be a good show the second week in January on mantras. And just take daily practice, and progress can be slow at first, but after a while they'll help you and you'll start learning your own power into manifestation. So remember that waking up takes guts and it takes courage, and let go of any and all preconceived ideas about how that should unfold for you. So some of the mantras you could use is I share love, I receive love, and I am love. And one of the mantras I learned from the near-death experience and coming back was the mantra that I use is I came from love, I am love, I return to love, and I never die. And so go ahead and have the most amazing New Year's ever and step into a peaceful you and exciting, passionate you for 2018. And thank you, Jan Newell, for being on our show today and sharing Trea with us. Is there any last thing you'd like to give to our listeners this evening?
Well, it's an honor to be of service to anyone that needs help at all, and I think that's what we're here for. Some of us is to just help the next one along. So, I've been helped along, and I like to help others along as well. And if we all evolve together, where we go, we all go together, right? So
Right.
It's not just where there's no separation, and sometimes it's really hard to realize that, but it's true.
Well, thank
if you
you.
have someone having a hard time, that means you're going to have a hard time too, so might as well help them along so they can have a good time. Kind of selfish. I want you to have a good time, so I'll have a good time.
Well, thank you again for tuning in to the Cosmic Oracle Show. We will be here next year, 2018, so see you next year. You can
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and you can reach me at BarbaraJeanLindsey.com. That's BarbaraJeanLindsey.com. You can reach me on the Cosmic Oracle Show on Facebook. We do have the Cosmic Oracle Show on a YouTube channel, and so you can check us out there, check out our videos there, and please continue to give generously to Revolution Radio and our coming new year. And I have some really good plans of some new things coming up. And you can mark your calendar. I am taking a group of people to the mystical tour of Glastonbury, England. That will be August 8th through the 15th. It's a 9-day magical Glastonbury tour. So really excited about that. And it's a transformational quest through Southwest England. And so you can call me about that if you'd like. And that. So we'll see you next week. See you next year. Thanks for tuning in.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message. Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Any commercial advertising you may hear in this program is of the sole discretion and benefit of the host of whose program you are listening to. Revolution Radio does not endorse any commercial products, nor does it accept monetary compensation for on-air advertising of commercial products, nor will it ever. We are and shall remain 100% listener supported. Any product advertised on this program are considered used at higher risk, and Revolution Radio shall not be held liable for any claims or damages received from any product advertised within this program. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
Most guys freeze. That's your cerebral cortex looking for an answer it doesn't have.
See? Even your brain knows you're screwed.
The body's filling with adrenaline right now, whether you know it or not. Your heart's beating fast. It's getting a little harder to breathe. The neurobiological system is telling it to run, but your knees are too weak to move.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. We are all telling ourselves a story.
You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. 100% listener-supported radio. Reporting the danger. Unafraid. Right here, where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
Take a look around, kid. What do you see? Homes being foreclosed. People working 2-3 jobs just to put food on the table and still drowning in debt. Don't get me wrong. This country was founded on great ideals and principles. They've all been ruined by the banks. Open your eyes to the banks that are robbing you. You know who my favorite president was?
Who?
Thomas Jefferson. Because he saw all of this coming and tried to stop it. He fought the banks. JFK too, and they killed him for it. The banking institution is more dangerous than an army, he said.